What is going on, everybody? Blaze here, and today I wanted to kind of talk about something that I came across online, and it's probably old news, but I wanted to kind of talk about it anyway and maybe get it out there in the open in case you hadn't heard or in case you hadn't seen it yet. There's actually a big rumor going around right now about the new Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. It's actually something I came across from a couple of news articles online. Apparently on Reddit, there is someone who is leaking this information that actually correctly predicted the Team Rainbow Rocket being in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So I don't know if you'd call them a reliable source, but they are a source that at least got something right in the past. So maybe this is actually something that should maybe be looked at or maybe given a second look. Again, nothing's been announced by Nintendo. We have no real information, but there's just a couple things, just like 3 bullet points that they brought up that would, I think, it's either good or bad. I think so. I'll go over those things with you here and maybe talk about it in the comments down below. Just leave a quick message or a quick like or whatever you think on this video. But I wanted to talk about it at least and get it out there. So the first thing that they talked about was pretty simple stuff, like Z moves and Mega Evolution are going to be back. There would not be any new Mega Evolution, which is, that's okay. I mean, it's not something that I crave right now. I don't really need to have more Mega Evolution. I'd rather have more like special forms of Pokemon that are exclusive to that region, rather than a Mega Evolution. That's kind of where I'm going with everything. But Mega Evolution, it is what it is, and it's not something I need in the next game. But if they were to give, a couple of Pokemon a new Mega Evolution, I would not be upset with that. Z moves are back. Again, this is going to be on the Nintendo Switch, so one thing that they're going to try to incorporate is the Joy-Con controllers being used to perform the Z moves. So, let me know what you think about this, guys, because I don't like it, to be honest. Like, I think it's one of those features, much like motion controls, where people are going to use it for, like, just the first couple of times. They're going to hate it, and then they're going to, like, turn it off. So I feel like they're putting a lot of, effort into making the Z moves Joy-Con motion-based, when not really many people are going to use it unless they don't know you can turn it off. So that's kind of something I'm kind of worried about. The Joy-Con being used to perform Z moves. Whether or not you have to, or whether or not you can just press the button and do it like normal, remains to be seen. But with some more battle changes coming up, I'll talk about later on. It may or may not be a good thing to turn it on or off, depending on how chaotic it gets. But well, we know it's a new region. Also, that's the other thing that was talked about, is it's going to be in a new region, and it's going to be in a region very much based on either Spain or Italy. So that's kind of the other rumor that they talked about, was that Spain or Italy will be the basis of inspiration for the new region, which I think Italy could be really cool. I don't know too much about Spain, but just thinking about Italy and thinking about the things that are in Italy, I think it could be a very cool region to explore. So I'm excited about that. This is something I didn't see initially, so I don't know if people added this in later. This might be pure speculation, but the story might revolve around innovation versus tradition. So we'll get to an innovation here in just a second, but traditionally Pokemon's been a turn-based game. It's been there are a lot of things about Pokemon that have kind of been the same throughout the years, and there's really not been too much innovation other than introduction of new types or new Pokemon type pairings, things like that. So it's been very traditional for the most part. But the thing that they're going to do in the next game, rumor has it anyway, is that they might just go ahead and change the battle system altogether. So I actually kind of speculated that was going to happen, and this, by the way, this is one of the things that they put on that article as far as leaks for the game. But I had speculated for a while that the battle system was going to change, because turn-based is kind of old it's kind of something that was around back in the 90s, and it worked in the 90s, and as time progressed, it wasn't really something that a lot of games use anymore. So I like turn-based for the strategy behind it, but it almost makes the speed stat kind of underpowered. For a Pokemon that has double the speed as another Pokemon, you would think that Pokemon will be able to go to attack multiple times before the one Pokemon attacks once. But that's not how this game works. So that's kind of my thoughts on the current situation of turn-based battle. So the rumor is that it'll actually be like more of a real-time interactive battle. And the first thing that comes to mind is something along the lines of Final Fantasy VI, which I think would be very interesting if it was more of an active battle system where a gauge filled up based on your speed stat. That gauge might fill up several times before another Pokemon's gauge fills up once, and that might be something that's interesting. But time will tell whether or not it's something like that, or whether it's something that's more in line with turn-based. I've heard people throw around the idea that like Digimon World had a cool battle system. I don't know too much about that, so I can't comment on Digimon World. But then they also compared it. Some of the other articles out there have compared it to Pokken Tournament, which I've seen a little bit of that, and I don't foresee anything like Pokken Tournament being in Pokemon. Maybe something like downgraded, like severely downgraded. But of course, there could be a dodge command, there could be a block command, and it could all be very, very much like the way that Final Fantasy VI did that as well. So, just looking at that game, I know you had a block command, you had a dodge command, maybe not a dodge command, but you definitely had a block command, which reduced your damage taken if you needed to charge up or something like that. So, I think there's some interesting things that could be coming out of the new Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. But those are just some of the things that were kind of leaked, and you can't see me, but I'm putting that in like air quotes because it was kind of leaked, and apparently by a reputable source. So we'll see what happens in the future. But let me know what you think in the comments below about these potential leaks or these potential ideas. I do think that the next Pokemon game on the Switch is already going to be a different experience because it's no longer on a handheld console. Even though you can take the Switch wherever you want and you can kind of make it into a handheld console, it's not necessarily a handheld console. So I really think that that in itself is already a step in a different direction than Pokemon's traditionally gone. And changing the battle system would also be something that would change things possibly for the better. The turn-based battle system, while it's very deep, when you get into it, appears very shallow on the surface, and I think that changing that up would be a huge change for Pokemon, more so than the addition of any other types like Fairy type or Steel type or Dark type. It's going to change things up quite a bit. So definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. What you think about these changes and about what could come into play. Again, this is like very little information. We don't really know anything about it, so it's really hard to make anything we guess right now is going to be a wild guess and something that is likely not to come true. But it's not impossible, but it's something that I don't think is it's probably not fair to take guesses like that right now because we don't know anything. So once again, just let me know what you think in the comments below. I just wanted to kind of get this out there and talk about it a little bit. I'll probably talk about it on my Twitch channel if you guys happen to stop by on that. But before I go and talk about it there, I wanted to get it out here on YouTube and kind of show off, kind of get a feel for doing these types of videos. And that's my goal for 2018 is to get more of these types of videos out there. And let me know what you think about that in the comments too, because I'm excited to hear what you think. So either way, guys, I will be doing many more videos coming up in the near future, reaction videos, reviews, things like that. So hit me up with the like button, with the subscribe button, and I'll be back very shortly with another video. Thanks for watching.